Hello, 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 and welcome to our Thursday leader interviews. I'm really excited about this one. This guy is a legend. He's awesome, and he's pretty funny too. So that's always helpful, right? It's always helpful. We need to install the humor chip in some people. Not with this guy. He came fully equipped, fully installed. So I'm really excited. But he has. This guy, and drop me a comment if you're excited. All right, what's up, Dina? Rochelle, how are you? Carol in the house, good afternoon. All right, and so this guy has been in the network marketing space for 50 years. Started when he was 4 years old, believe it or not. And he has been a company owner. He has been a top producing rep. He built I think in the 1880s, he built a team of 30,000, right? Where you had to chisel it on stone and stuff. No, but he is awesome. He's a mentor and trainer to a lot of people. He has, again, been a company owner. He was a company owner for over 30 years. And he's just someone that I really respect, someone I enjoy being around. And I'm excited to have on our Thursday leader interviews. And it is Richard Bliss Brooke. What's going on?
Ray, can you do that again? Can you roll that back up? Because you said something about doves and confetti and where's that?
COVID. The doves.
Oh my God, the COVID excuse.
Yeah, we tried keeping the doves 6 feet apart, and I'm just like, how the hell do you do this, man? I just said, screw it. How are you, man?
I'm great, and thank you for the opportunity to come on your elite show. And demonstrate my prowessness.
Your savviness. So you've been in the industry for a little bit. How did you get introduced to network marketing? Like who got you?
Yeah, well, I've always told people 45 years. I mean, I add the years as they go by. 45 years full time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that story. But then just the other day, a mutual friend of ours, Stuart Johnson, asked me, said, "Hey, how long have you been in the industry?" And I said, 45 years full time. And he said, like part-time before that? And, I never considered it. But the way I really got introduced to network marketing is my dad came home from a Best Line meeting in 1972. I was a sophomore in high school. And he had $5,000, 1972 money, worth of soap that filled up the entire spare bedroom. He signed me up, which I had no idea what was going on, and I never did anything. And what we did with that bedroom of soap for the next 35 years, 40 years, was use it one box and bottle at a time. And I have the remaining box of dishwashing detergent. So that's how I got introduced to network marketing. A couple of years later, I sold vacuum cleaners. I sold one to my stepmom.
Which ones were you selling? Rainbow,
Electrolux, the best, the ultimate, not those junky Kirby's, Electrolux.
I'll be honest, I love getting you vacuum guys in fights. Because it's just the best to hear the Rainbow guys fight the Electrolux and the Kirby guys, and there's always reasoning. It's just awesome. But Electrolux is really the best.
I don't know if any of your audience has ever had one of those people in their home, but what we used to do, it only worked for me once, my stepmom. We used to vacuum your mattress, right? And then dump all the dead skin, a pile this high of dead skin on your mattress and say, this is what you've been sleeping in with your vacuum. But if you had an Electrolux, we could keep this pile of dead skin out of your bed. It's only, $29 a month for the rest of your life.
Awesome. That is amazing. Lorianne says yes to Electrolux.
There you go. Thanks, Lori.
I'm waiting for where's the debate here? Where's it?
Yeah, right. Well, I think we're dating ourselves. These guys don't even know what we're talking about. How I really got introduced to network marketing is a very close personal friend of mine, a high school buddy. He was working at a chicken factory out of high school, and I just got fired from working at the gas station. And so he said, hey, come and work at the chicken factory. And I went to work there, and I actually loved it. And I'd been there 4 years, and I was upwardly mobile and kind of had my whole career mapped out working at the chicken plant. And he'd already left and gone to work at the spaghetti factory. And then he started calling me about a financial opportunity and, come to this meeting, meet these people, get rich. And I just, I can still feel in my body, I have so much empathy for prospects, which fuels a lot of the coaching and training that I do. I really understand prospects and why and how they say no, because I authentically said no, emphatically said no. And it's not because I'd never heard of network marketing, like the term, or multi-level marketing. I knew what Bestline was, but I didn't know it was a pyramid thing. I didn't know it was any of that stuff. I just thought it was selling soap. And Electrolux
you thought it was like a wholesale, like buy some.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Electrolux was that. Electrolux wasn't really an MLM thing. And so what I said no to was going to a meeting with strangers where they were going to talk about stuff I didn't know anything about. And I said no to the whole idea of big money. It's not because I wasn't interested in more money. I would have done anything for $100 a month raise at the chicken plant. But, he was talking about making 3 times as much money as I was making full time. And he was talking about it part time. And all of that, Ray, made me feel very uncomfortable. Not that I thought it was unethical or illegal or I didn't think any of that. I just thought, hey, at the chicken plant, I'm a big chicken in a small coop. At some business opportunity meeting where there's people from out of town and briefcases and suits.
Yeah.
I'm a little tiny chicken in a great big coop. And I was just uncomfortable. But how I expressed it was, no, I'm too busy. No, I don't like to sell. All those BS excuses. But then how I ended up in the industry is about a month and a half later, Foster Farms, the chicken plant, passed a company-wide policy. You can't advance any further in our company. It's $1 billion, 3,000 person company, unless you have a 4-year college degree. And I cheated to get out of high school with a 1.9 GPA.
Yeah.
So, the lesson there is people can tell you no all they want. And if you honor the no and are patient with people and honor them and respect them and stay in touch, life's going to change for them.
Yeah.
Their chicken plant is going to change a policy.
Right.
Which could be something at their work, something with health, something with their parents, something with their kids, something maybe where they just get fed up. Maybe they just get insightful after a while and life opens things up for them. But if we, keep telling them they're doing a stupid job and they should drive a nicer car and they should get their act together and be rich like us, they're never going to join us.
Yeah.
They may join somebody else, but not us. Anyway, that's my story.
Yeah. So I got 3 lessons out of that. One, and this is something that we really harp on, is most people can't believe or conceptualize the concept of making $10,000 a month, but that's a real common pitch.
Yeah.
3 that come off the top of my head, and now you'll be a 4th, right? I mean, this is someone, in the industry, 50 years, but Whitney Taylor husband, Taylor Thompson, Lori Mayfield Banks, all 3 of them joined to make $300 a month.
Yeah.
That's why they joined. And I've asked them, I said, hey, if you were pitched like, hey, come make $10,000 a month, would you have checked it out? And they're like, nah, I couldn't believe it. I did it for mom care, not daycare. And so that's such an important thing. Number 2, we always talk about don't bash jobs. And it's interesting because, and maybe this is just the climate, but someone today, I won't pull it up because it'll take too long, but someone today, I posted that it's risky to have a single income right now. And 2020 proved that to many people. A lot of people figured out how financially fragile they were. And so someone commented, hey, us salary people are important to society. And it's like, I'd say you weren't, right? I'm not bashing that. I mean, one, if you love what you do, then awesome. Congratulations, high five. Two, I'm not bashing what you do. I'm just saying a lot of people found out one income a little risky.
Right.
And number three I love that, your person, kept following up and like stayed in touch with you because, the company where I was the number one income earner of, I didn't even realize it until later. I had been prospected for that company before. I didn't even realize it. And so a couple months in, guy comes up to me and goes, dude, I came to you with this a long time ago. And I'm like, yeah? Like,
what you have to keep in mind, there's 40 million of us out there, and everybody around the world can recruit your next door neighbor.
Yeah.
There's 3,000 companies. And if you don't follow up with your prospects, and I don't mean ask them over and over and over, you want to now, you want to now, you want to. I just keep you and your persona and your energy and your story and your contribution and your service in front of them, because most people you and I know sooner or later are going to look for a plan B. They're going to look for $500 a month, or they're going to look for $5,000 a month. And there's nothing worse than, you just prospected somebody 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, and they said, absolutely, I will never, you can write this in blood. You can write this on your front door. I will never, ever, 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 ever do one of those pyramid networks ever. You can just count on it right there. So there, that's it. And then you look at their Facebook 3 months later and they're, oh my God, you got to come look at my new deal. I just got back from the convention and I'm going to the top. And you're like, what the?
Yeah.
What the was, you didn't follow up, because sooner or later, everybody's going to look. And the worst, Ray, and I know this has happened to me, I know it's happened to you, is when somebody from your own company recruits them.
Yeah.
Oh, way to go, bonehead.
I had that happen. I remember the very first company that I was a part of. Actually, technically, I think I was part of one earlier.
Right.
It had cloaks and candles and stuff. I don't know.
You were, it was MLM.
Yeah. But I, first one I took seriously. This was, 2006, and I knew a lot of big players in like the real estate game and speaking and things like that. And a lot of them I just judged. I'm like, they'd never do this. I mean, they're making millions of dollars. They'd never do this kind of thing. And I remember being at a convention. I'm not really paying attention, and they're doing recognition, right? I should be paying attention, but I wasn't. I didn't get it back then. And so they say this name, and I'm like, huh? And this is a speaker that I wasn't super close with, but my good friend was very close with. And so they announce him at a high rank. So I text my buddy. I'm like, hey, have you heard of it? And he goes, yeah, I joined it with this guy. And they joined after I joined with a stranger. They would have preferred to join with me.
Yeah.
And they made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I was just like punched right to the face. And so from there, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be addicted to my activity, not their response. I'm going to ask everyone I can think of and everyone I come into contact with. So it's a great point.
If you interview, you have the ability to create this data, Ray, in a really large scale. If you ask everybody that we know that's in network marketing, and ask them about their first company, how many times did they say no before they joined their first company?
Yep.
And if we as a profession could document that, if Eric would do it, if you would do it, if Fraser would do it, if Rob would do it, if I would do it, we would all document it and come up with an average, because they've done that before in sales. The average, people that make over $100,000 a year, they make their sale on the average seventh, attempt. Right. Well, what is it in network marketing? And, I think it's somewhere between 3 and 5.
Yeah.
And so everybody on your list that you want to ask, we think it's a really big deal if we actually ask them. You got 100 people on your list. It's a real big deal if you ask all 100.
Right.
What percentage of people? What percentage of networkers actually ask all 100 people on their list? 1%. What percent ask all 100 5 times.
Yeah.
0.01.
Yeah.
Now go to the income disclosure statement of any company. What percentage of the distributors make $100,000 a year or more? 0.01.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm grateful of my experiences before network marketing. I did door-to-door sales. I did, 22 days a month on the road. I have done, at 18, I was making 450 calls a day selling long distance. So when I came into this, getting 20 no's a day wasn't really that big of a deal. But it's really impressive to most people.
Yeah.
Because they just haven't had those experiences. They're just,
right.
And so to me, it was just like, there were days I'd call 100 for sale by owners when I was in real estate, and that just wasn't a big deal. That's just kind of what you did. You don't do, it's like people don't do that here.
Well, it's because we're not professional salespeople and everybody else is. I mean, you can't go into any professional sales organization and not get indoctrinated in the go for no philosophy. It's, hey, what's my job here? Your job is to dial until you get 100 no's today. You get 100 no's, you can go home. Huh? Yeah, that's how it works. That's, real estate, stock brokerage, telephones, it doesn't matter. But in network marketing, why do 99% of the people that chase the money not get it?
Yeah. And I don't want to make you nervous, but Tom Chenault's on here. He's watching. So I don't know how you react to that, but he makes me nervous sometimes. I don't know. He makes
you.
He's a is he again? We love you, Tom.
He just wet his pants. I just licked all the red right off of his sucker. He's like, oh no, people aren't going to think anybody.
That's awesome. So having seen so much, over the years in this industry, what is your biggest, I'm curious, what's your biggest complaint about network marketing right now? Like, dang it, I wish they'd stop doing this, or I can't believe we've arrived here. What's the thing that bugs you about today's network marketing, maybe versus in the past?
Companies or distributors?
I would love to hear both.
Man, that's a long list.
Pick one or two.
Companies. I got to say two things about companies. Companies with owners that don't bleed asset income, legacy income, residual income. If you cut their hand, they need to bleed it. They need to be in it forever. They need to be in it for the sales leaders to be able to build it and get paid forever. Because if you and I can't build it once, and the once could be 4 years or 14 years or 14 months or 40 years. If we can't build it once and get paid forever, this is just a sales job. This is just, I don't know, let me see how much money I can make and hope it lasts. And when it all blows up, I'll do another one. Well, I've only done 3 in 45 years, I guess 5 in 50 years. I think you've done maybe 3, and what it's like for them to blow up. That's no plan at all.
So let me clarify. So are you saying company owners that just never plan on having ongoing income forever? Or are you referring to company owners that at one point pitched residual income and now they're like,
No, I know that happens, but no, I mean people that launch companies and their thought process is, I'm going to see how fast I can get this to grow, how big I can get it to grow, how fast. It's all about setting records. It's all about, I'm the fastest growing, I'm blah, blah, blah. And they don't have a 50 or 100-year plan. They're not thinking about, how am I going to structure this, guide this, lead this, finance this, such that if people build it once, they can get paid forever. And the companies that I work with are all legacy companies. I don't work with startup companies. And,
Sure.
Companies like Shackley, I've done, last year I did a 2-day leadership event with 300 Shackley distributors.
Mhm.
And 30 of them were the grandchildren of the people who built the Shackley income.
That's
Their
awesome.
grandparents were dead. Their parents were dead.
Wow.
And how do you do that? 62 years.
Awesome.
Owners that don't have that kind of vision, they're setting us all up for disaster.
Right.
Because you know what it takes to build this once. It's a minor miracle. If you build a team that earns you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, or even $5,000 a month, that's a minor miracle. You're one out of 10,000 people. And if the owner of the company isn't in it forever, if they're just in it to flip it, see how much money they can make, exit, retire, that kind of stuff. And there's so many of them. If I was in a CEO roundtable 25 years ago, Ray, with owners, 95% of the owners would be people that had built a huge sales organization themselves. They knew what it meant to build a sales organization. They'd either done it in another company and then started this company, or they built this company. When a company launches, sometimes, distributors get upset because, people are frontline to the company. Well, who recruits the first distributors? Companies don't recruit anybody. If you launch a company, you're going to recruit the first distributors. And if I was in a CEO roundtable 25 years ago, 95% of the owners would have built their company. Today, 95% of the company owners and CEOs and VP, they're all suits. They've never built anything. And they're just there for a job. And it's a soulless profession from that standpoint. And I don't like that. And the second thing I don't like about companies is they develop and offer products that have no chance of being relevant 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. No chance. And why? Because they're just looking for expediency. And they're not thinking about, hey, who's going to be using this stuff 10, 20, 30 years from now? In so many companies, nobody's going to use it. The only reason anybody's using it now is a comp plan. And you know what? Unfortunately, that's technically a pyramid scheme. What do I don't like about sales leaders? They fall for that crap. And they promote it, and then they influence other people to promote it, and they're short-sighted. And I know you are too, but I'm a super strong advocate of, you got a job, you keep your job until they fire you for being a network marketer. That's how long you keep your job. Why? Because if you make $5,000 a month in your network marketing thing and you still have a full-time job, you're a financial rock star.
Yeah.
You have $5,000 a month to invest in real estate or the equities, your lifestyle, security. But if you quit your job and go full-time and you're making $5,000 a month, you're broke like everybody else.
Yeah.
And that makes you desperate. So it's the
it also can, and I think usually does, because people aren't trained this way. It can also hurt your duplication by you just saying, and Jim Rohn talked about that, but you just saying, oh, I'm a full-time network marketer, because you want to, you want to strike against the haters and show them that it's possible. Like, instead, say hey, I'm a full-time dad. I do this on the side. Say anything other than I'm a full-time network marketer. I'm not a fan of saying that. And if you can't build it part-time, you can't build it full-time.
Right. And there's actually not that much to do if you're full-time, right?
Yeah.
Full-timers are like looking around going, oh, where's all my people? They're working. Maybe you can talk to them at 6 o'clock tonight, right?
That's funny. That's awesome. Well, man, that was very, very powerful. What's something that in this, 2020 was challenging for a lot of people. We saw some, have bigger interest in network marketing or working from home or whatever. What's something that you're excited about the future of network marketing?
Yeah, well, there's just no better way. I mean, where else in the universe, in the galaxy, can you invest $200, $300, $400, $500, even if it's $1,000? Where else can you invest that kind of money Find a product that's actually going to change your life, like improve your life. Build a second income, not on a sometimes basis, which that doesn't work. Sometimers don't work. Just the nature of this beast is you just got to get through the inertia. You got to create enough momentum to get through the inertia. You got to build a big enough team so that you're not the only person on your team. If it's all up to you, there's no leverage, there's no compounding. You got to take advantage of compounding. You got to get 10, 20, 30 people on your team. The holy grail is to get one person on your team who's as excited and working alongside of you, a running buddy. You get a running buddy in network marketing, everything changes. Everything becomes like fun and exciting and an adventure. And one running buddy is all you need. But you can't do that on a sometimes basis. You got to be part-time. What is part-time? My gosh, Ray, if people work this for 15 to 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, it'd blow their mind what they could do if they did it every day. But you can't have your stat tracker looking at your 30-day calendar and looking, like the toothless fairy, right? It can't have all these gaps in it. That doesn't create compounding. It doesn't create momentum. You got to be consistent. But where else can you invest a little bit of money, work on a very part-time basis, keep your full-time job? Here's maybe one of the most important things: be mentored by millionaires. Every one of you out there have a multi-millionaire in your upline, unless you're in something that just started.
Right.
You got a multi-millionaire. You probably got 10 of them.
Yeah.
And guess what they get paid for? Mentoring, coaching, training, being a role model for you. They didn't do it by accident. They had some kind of system. They had some kind of pattern. Follow it. Where else can you get that kind of mentoring for free? And then
no other industry, I guarantee you.
No other industry. And then from right here, this goes to 7.5 billion people in 192 countries in 38 time zones. This does right here. This thing. Sorry, I got to turn it around. This phone. You don't care about my case, do you? My phone, right? This, as long as you got a cell signal, you can market all over the world. And then because of compounding, 1946, California Vitamins invented network marketing. They changed the game when they made the rule, you know what? Let's forget all this. We're going to appoint salespeople, and only salespeople can build a team, and everybody's got territories. They just went nuts, and they said, we're just going to turn everybody loose and create massive chaos and blow this thing up. When they created the rule, everybody gets to build a sales team from day one. Everyone. Every customer can build a sales team. If I recruit you as a customer today, Ray, you can recruit Jessica 5 minutes later, and she can recruit 50 people 5 days after that. And what is that? That's compounding. Yeah. That's 4 who get 4 is 16 who get 4 is 64 who get 4 is 256 who get 4 is 1,024 who get 4 is 4,096 who get 4 is over 16,000 people. All work for you, and you didn't have to hire them, and you don't have to pay them. All you have to do
is HR process.
Oh my gosh! Owning a business is a nightmare. A total nightmare. I mean, you can't cough without having somebody sue you for, he upset me, and now I need $50,000. There's nothing like it on the planet, and that's what I've always been most excited about. What do I see today that I'm actually excited about? This might be kind of counterintuitive. I love some of what the FTC and organizations like TINA and even the DSA, which is takes them 50 years to do anything. I love what they're doing around compliance. It's hard. It's not fun. And it's overreaching. In many cases, they overreach. They don't get us. They don't understand what we do. oh, you can't talk about residual income. You can't talk about work from home. You can't talk about, hey, it's 2020. You need a plan B, don't you? Have you noticed you might need a plan B in 2012? Don't say that. That's taking advantage of the COVID people. They're on the total opposite. They're like, we're conservatives talking to liberals, or liberals talking to conservative. We don't even speak the same language. So I believe they've totally overreached, and that's unfortunate. But here's what they have done. Left to our own devices, we'll kill ourselves with desperate, irresponsible hype. And here's the biggest problem we have. And I think this is changing, Ray. If your audience, you could poll them, all right? So if they weren't a network marketer and they just went out with a clipboard like I did as Super MLM Man and asked 100 people on the street, hey, what do you think about network marketing? And they're like, huh? What's that? MLM. 97% of them will say, what's that?
Exactly.
Direct selling. Well, yeah, I mean, they're not really sure what that is. Okay, let me explain it this way. Amway. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Right.
How many of you are interested in making some money doing one of those things? Go ask 100 people on the street. What are they going to say?
Nope.
We're the only salespeople on the planet who are selling something, a financial opportunity, that every prospect on the planet has already decided they're never, ever, ever, ever going to buy. We're the only people selling something like that.
Yeah.
Why? Because we have just destroyed the marketplace. We have created distrust, misinformation. What do you do? Is that like Oh, no. This isn't. No, that's not one of those things. No, we're not MLM. We're relationship, social, contributing. It's kind of a network, like through the computers, kind of like crypto,
right.
And what we're really all about is educating. What did you just say?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean it's like Amway? We've just lied and hyped and deceived, and we've been desperate, and now everybody hates us, and we deserve it. But still, we have the best opportunity on the planet, and some of us have extraordinary products.
Yeah.
And there's no better place. And if you can plow through all the resistance, you can be set for life. And there's nothing like it on the planet. And you put the personal development part of it in there. And I see progress, Ray. I see progress in the marketplace. I see progress in the kind of companies that are being successful. And I see progress in what you're doing. And other people like you. I mean, you go back, 10, 15, 20 years ago, nobody was doing what you were doing. Nobody was educating and coaching and leading people to be better, to be smarter, to be wiser, to be more of service, to be more candid and transparent and ethical. Nobody was teaching that.
I appreciate it.
So
I
see progress.
It's awesome. 3 points from what you're saying. One, I'm sure people picked up on the 15 to 30 minutes. I'm on Clubhouse 8 hours a day. I'm a business influencer. I'm on 52 different Clubhouse rooms every day, Richard.
That's because they're full time and they don't have anything else to do.
Right. And so like today's environment is like learners, and it's like a learner's opium den, right? I mean, it's just like Clubhouse, bro, hook me up, man. And I'm not bashing Clubhouse, but what I am bashing is I'm bashing someone who learns all damn day, but never talks to anybody. And a fundamental kind of thing is if you have actual goals in network marketing, it's okay. How many people did you ask if they were open to your product, service, or opportunity this week? So people will come up to me and say, man, I'm just like you, man. I'm hungry. I want to be the top. And I'll know in one question. I'll say, how many people did you prospect last week? How many people did you ask? Are you open to taking a look at what I got?
Yeah, let me see your stat tracker.
And if it's single digits, then it's like, nope.
Yep.
Right? It's like you just got to adjust your goals or adjust your hustle. Like you got to one of those. Two, a perspective that I've noticed is I think there are definitely certain age ranges that absolutely hate the idea of network marketing, and exactly like you said, I have seen that millennials seem to be more open, and they're just like, oh, it's like against the system. Yeah. Like there's some rebellion there, and they do desire freedom more than the pin. And it's interesting. It's interesting because, like some, they work their way up to the department. I'm supervisor to the regional manager, right? And millennials, a lot of them don't tend to like or really care about that. They're like, how much freedom do I get? Oh, I can do it with this? Okay, cool. So it seems like there's more flexibility around that. And then number three, to many of your points is, I had an advertising franchise. It was $40,000. And for $3,800 a month, I believe, I got the privilege to pay for a name that no one had heard of. And so so to use their name that no one had heard of, I paid $3,800 a month for nothing. Now for $40,000, I got 10 empty ad frames, black plastic, very nice, empty, right? I could put my head through them because there's no graphics, that was extra. And a manual that said, I'll never make it. And so that was $40,000. Yep. Domino's is $250,000, and it tells you there's a 10-year return on investment. Now imagine if as a network marketer, you went to your friends and said, hey, it's $1,000, but the good news is in 10 years, you should get that back. You would actually be a lot better opportunity.
And all of those things, all you're doing is buying a full-time grind. You're going to work 12 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You're not buying an opportunity. That's a grind. It's a job. And is it a secure job if you buy a Domino's? Yeah, I guess. But what if you invested that $250,000 in your network marketing business and figured out how to market your way to inviting a couple of thousand people to look at your opportunity? What kind of ROI would you get on that?
I don't even know how you would spend $250,000. I don't either in any company. But anyway. Well, dude, Richard, this has been fantastic, man. It's been too long since we chatted. I really appreciate you, man. Make sure you have a new book out, or I know you have several books, and I think they're fantastic. You have a new one coming out, or you got a new one out?
Yeah, kind of my brand is The Authentic Networker. I have a Facebook group of that name, and I have a book coming out of that name.
Cool.
And I got all kinds of stuff at richardbrooke.com. That's where people can find me.
Awesome.
If people want something free, I have a 10-day, 5-minute a day transformational series. It's not about network marketing. It's about changing your life.
Nice.
Upping your game.
Awesome.
They can find that on my website, or maybe Susie posted it. Yeah. It's like a 5-minute audio message a day that comes.
Awesome. Nice. Well, man, I know you're a busy dude. I really appreciate you taking your time. If you're on here and you got value from this, feel free to share with your team. I really enjoyed this interview, man. And I just appreciate it, man. I appreciate what you do for the industry.
Thank you, Ray. I appreciate what you do for the industry. And my camera didn't show it, but you're right here. There.
Oh, hey, there we go. Nice.
I don't know if any of you guys have seen but I got into it the last couple of weeks. This is deep.
It's some deep stuff. The beginning is tough. The beginning is some tough stuff.
No, I don't mean deep in a bad way. I mean, folks, I'm not a big fan of reading a book a week, or, hey, look how many books I've read. Yeah. I'm a big fan of, hey, pick one. You notice Christianity doesn't have 73 books. How many do they have?
Right.
One.
Right.
And I'm not preaching Christianity here. I'm just giving you an example of how many times are you supposed to read that book?
All the time.
Forever.
Yeah.
You want to gain mastery in life? Don't read a book a week. That's entertainment.
Yeah.
Master a book a year. Like, what if you studied this book for a year, and then what you did is you taught it for the rest of your career? Because if you mastered it for a year, like you did a book study with your team, every month, 12 months in a row, all new people all the time, mastery, every principle in it. and then you taught it for the rest of your career. Do you know what this book would be worth to you? Millions.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
You're
For
welcome.
those that have not seen us constantly talk about it, that is our latest book. So, Richard, I appreciate you, man. You're a rock star. Thanks so much, man.
You bet. Thanks to all of you for listening. See you later.
Yep. Bye for now. Feel free to share this if you got value, and appreciate you tuning in.